Welcome back, everybody. My name is Grace, or Gibby, whatever you prefer, and today I'm here with another update review. So I'm just reviewing the Legion LTS update, as well as the Devourer saga update. Now, the Devourer saga did not change any of the story, and I think that's great. The Huntress and Yulgar basically spend the night in a basement together, and they, you know what happens. So I'll just skip all through the text. You don't need to read it. But that's basically what happens. They spend the night in the basement. They get up to some foolishness, you could see what happens. Anyways, for my younger viewers, we'll just keep going on. But what they did add was a shop in each of the three quests that they updated. So this is the Red Moon Dial Misc, and I'll show it in game later on. But it does some relatively interesting stuff. I think they leave the basement in this part of the quest. They have a little lover's spat. You know how it is with new couples. Anyways, I'm not you can read the lore if you're interested, but the lore has been around for 15 years, so I'm not gonna go through it. At least not in this video. I'm thinking of doing a Devourer saga clip eventually. But the significance is that anyways, forget the story. We got 3 new shops, and 2 of them are cosmetic items, and only one of them is the Red Moon Dial, which is like a real item. I shouldn't say that. We get the Huntress cosmetic face and the Yulgar face. I think I might buy the Yulgar face. I'm not sure. I haven't thought about it enough yet. But that's the shop for that part. And now we get Yulgar in prison. That one's super quick. Is what it is. They thought that his love with the Huntress was forbidden, so they threw him in jail. Very unjust. Not very open-minded of the people writing the story, but it's what it is. I actually like this missing poster as well. I might buy it, but the thing is my house is already quite laggy, so I probably won't. Anyways, nothing too crazy about any of the items. Except the Red Moon Dial, which I'll show you here. Ignore my scuffed ass build. I was doing some stuff. But, okay, so the Red Moon Dial. It looks like the Devourer's little pendant. It has some gears on it. I don't really know what the plan is. Also, how can you have a moon dial? I think a sundial is the only type of thing you can use to tell time. I don't think the moon... Anyways, science reasons outside, a moon dial would not work to tell time. But what it will do is boost your strength and dexterity by 50, as well as give you cold potency. If you don't know what the cold is, it's essentially a blind and defense loss baked into one, and the monster gets a save every turn to resist it. So it's sort of like bleed and panic in that way, that it's like a duration-based save. But with this potency misc, you can inflict cold better. It's not particularly useful because we only have 3 sources of the cold that I know of. One is the prismatic paintbrush, I believe, which inflicts like a renamed cold status. The other, and that's on its special, so it's not very reliable. The other is the Mirror Ryusei Guest, which I believe only has a summon version, and inflicts like 8 cold per turn. Maybe based off ice resistance, I can't recall. But the only strong source of the cold infliction we have is the Frigid Devouring Scythe, which has a skill that inflicts a significant amount of the cold. But potency miscs are great, and this is a water misc that you can get without any quests, so you can just, without any battles. So if you're a new player starting out and there's a difficult water boss you want to take on, like the Sea Titan, for example. I mean, not too difficult, but you want to play more defensively, you can grab this misc. I don't love that it gives strength and dexterity. In my ideal world, it would toggle between one or the other. But it costs 79 SP, as you can see there. Pretty cheap SP cost. Not a great misc, but it's cool. Having more potency for niche statuses is very nice, so I appreciate that. Next, we'll get into the Legion items. And I'm actually recording this before the Underworld tome comes out. So I'm just going to show you the fan, and then I will come back in a little bit There we go. I will come back in a little bit to show you the tome, and I'll add that clip after this one. But the Legion fan looks sick, in my opinion. I've got the invisibility cloak, so you can see the whole item without anything in the way. I just think it looks great. Also, the fact that when you click it, it gets this change type. Oh, it goes melee ranged and magic. I thought it only had melee and magic. That's dope, actually. But you can use the folded version to do full damage, and you can use the unfolded version to inflict a bleed on your foe. And that bleed trades 50% damage for it, and it is a 0.23% bleed based off your hit accuracy. So let's just see if I hit both my hits. I do. So he'll bleed for 0.236 power. So it's an okay bleed weapon. It doesn't beat out Fracture Point for a lot of things, but depending on your situation, depending on what element the monster is, it'll be very useful. I actually have a little bleed setup going here. Well, sort of. Anyways, it's an okay bleed weapon. Not amazing, but good for free-to-play access. Now, there's also a bunch of zealotry axes in the shop. I'm not even going to mention those because they're terrible. But the next thing I'm going to talk about is the new Underworld tome, which costs tokens. I know. It is in fact a tokens tome, which we didn't know until it released a day or two late. I'm not going to buy it at the max level. I am going to buy the level 10 version because I'm not a hater. I want to show you guys the art. But the tome's okay. So what it does, and I'll show you in combat practice tool after I switch my stats to int. So hold on while I pause and then reappear. So here we are with intellect this time. And here's the tome. So a lot of people are a little upset because it costs tokens. And I feel you. Especially since it's a new tome, so we don't have a tome of this element. Cerberus tome, in my opinion, doesn't really count because it's mixed element. But the tome has 3 abilities. Summon a burly skeleton for no mana cost. The skeleton will terrify your foe with a mighty blow that just barely misses them. Now, it's a fear ability. And it doesn't have, you might think, oh, it doesn't have an out-leveling penalty. You bought the level 10 version. Well, yes, it doesn't because the save is level 10, so it won't work against high-level monsters. It's the same as the War's Legacy Fear. Interesting that they decided to re-release the War's Legacy Fear. But who am I to judge? We've got the Skull Scream, which honestly looks kind of dope. It's a 3-hit spell that eats fear for up to 400% damage. So it can do triple damage if you eat enough fear. You will not eat enough fear just by using the fear skill on this tome, but you can apply the fear in other ways. I don't think a fear eating spell is that bad. I think that hopefully they're going to keep designing bosses that you can use fear effects and eating effects on them. Will they? I don't know, but I'm hoping that they will. And then finally, the last spell is an efficient cost spell, which boosts your intellect and takes your turn by throwing a skull at your head, which is interesting. Now the intellect boost does have an out-leveling penalty, so I'm only getting 17 int, but at max level it'll give you 95 intellect, which is a big deal, in my opinion, because Arcane Amplification, which I don't have right now, that gives you 105, and that's pay to win. So this, it does cost tokens, but you can get this on Black Friday for pretty cheap. People will say, oh, it's not quick cast. It also only costs 257 mana at max level, which I think is pretty pog, to say the least, because it's a lot more efficient than Arcane Amplification, and that makes it very useful, in my opinion, because it's a more efficient source and it's not a package item. So what do I think about the tome? I think it's not worth the tokens now. I think I'd wait until Black Friday. I think the fear ability is kind of mid. because you have better ways to inflict fear. That's not to say it's useless. Efficiently inflicting a status is very strong. I use this to do the hard bake oven. I use like this exact effect on War's Legacy to do the hard bake oven with very limited gear. A fear eating spell, I think that's great. It's sort of like a replacement for Terror Eater because Terror Eater is eventually going to get nerfed, and this will do a lot of damage. I think that the intellect boost is actually the best part of the tome. Intellect boosts are so rare. It's just really good. The issue, in my opinion, is also the animations are sick. Like, look at this draw mana. I don't know. I think that's sick. The issue is tome overlaps so much with Necromancer. One, we already have a Fear Eater. Now, the Fear Eater is diluted because it spends some of the power on healing you, but it's already a Fear Eater. Two, we already have a Dark Nuke on Necromancer, and this one has Ellie comp, so it'll be stronger. It'll be a lot stronger most of the time, unless you're eating the max amount of fear. Three, there's no efficient damage spell on the tome. Tomes should have efficient damage spells. I don't make the rules. They just need to have efficient damage spells. No, but jokes aside, efficient damage spells are really hard to come by on modern standards, and the modern standard of like 260 mana for that much damage is really busted. So the fact that this tome doesn't have one kind of sucks because the other efficient skills are either locked to armors like Necromancer or locked to packages. We only have energy efficient skills or efficient spells on the new standard. Like you might be thinking, oh, Lightning Rod has a efficient spell, Healing Branch has an efficient spell. Yes, but those are old standard efficient spells. They're not as good. I mean, they're still fine, but it would have been really nice for this tome to have an efficient spell. What's also freaky is this image I'm about to show you, which is a Discord message that I typed out before the tome was released. And you can tell by the timestamp I typed it out before the tome was released. So like, did they just copy my idea? Because like I said later on this would be a terrible tome if it just had the fear from War's Legacy and the Fear Eater. Like I was joking when I said that. Like I think I said later on it's just a placeholder. But I called two of the abilities on the tome. Like are they taking notes? Like I'm flattered, but like kind of an ass tome to like an ass idea to take. Like take ideas from my Archmage rework. You know that would be busted. But anyways, jokes aside, I think it's really funny that I guessed two of the abilities randomly. I think the tome's okay. I don't think it's great. I think it's rough that it costs tokens because I was gonna buy the Legion LTS painting just because I like having paintings, and I have a little bit of disposable income. I have like 10k tokens left. But like I don't know, like 5 out of the 6 items in it are tokens. Like that just feels weird. The Dark Tome, ideally it wouldn't be tokens. I mean, I know like a week or two ago I was saying, oh, the Energy Tome, it's okay that it's tokens. Like sure, but 2 token tomes? Like come on, bro, come on. I guess I know a lot of people bought it, so that's why they did it again. But I mean, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. The intellect boost is huge for free-to-play players because this tome is free-to-play affordable. It just takes a lot of tokens, which you have to farm up or get lucky in donations for. The Fear Eater, it's okay. The Fear Effect, it's okay. I think having Fear not locked to an armor, it's useful. Again, like how often are you spamming Fear? But it is a very efficient way to use your turn on a status like that because if you know it'll inflict, you're essentially getting double turn value out of your attack, guaranteed. Which is something to be said. That being said, overall, I think the intellect boost is by far the best part of the tome because it's an alternative to arcane amplification. And it's very efficient, and you can use it, you can time it when you don't want to spend resources and you want to get ready for your next couple turns. I just think it's great. Those are my thoughts on the tome, and that's pretty much the release. So they've started falling into the pattern of having releases a day or two late again. You might be confused why I'm saying that. From my context is I've been keeping track of the releases, and for about 3 months, up until the GGB extravaganza, all of their releases were on time on Thursday. Some of them were buggy, sure,
but they were always on time. There was like one late release in 3 months. Now we've had like three late releases in a month, which feels bad. It is what it is. I'm not flaming the devs. I'm just saying, unfortunate. They seem to be more pressed for time lately, but it is what it is. Overall, the release, Legion fan, nice bleed weapon, pretty art. Underworld tome, very pretty art. Okay tome, not great. Sucks that it's tokens, but it is what it is. And those are my thoughts on the release. I hope that they do another Devourer saga quest soon because I would really love to see a revamped Huntress's Claw, Gauntlet of the Gallon. That would be cool. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see what they do. But overall, I hope you enjoyed this little ramble video. Let me know what you think about the tome because I haven't made up my mind yet. I found out about it like this morning, but I haven't had time to think about it much. I just got back. It's like 8 p.m. for me at this time where I'm recording. So yeah, let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed. Hope it was informative. Have a great day. Treat yourself well and spread some peace and love to those around you. Bye bye now.